All right, so sheet mulching 101. Um, so in the beginning, about 2013, I was hearing about sheet mulching, but I didn't know really how to do it and thought, I am not a handy person. I feel that I could do this if I had done it once myself. So I thought it would be a good idea to hold a sheet mulching workshop so I could learn. And Kelly Marshall came to help run it, and so did my dear colleague Chris Dundon from the Contra Costa Water District. And I said to my son, who is the blonde boy here, uh, you, Peter, and your little friend Kaylin, you should come to this workshop and learn how to sheet mulch. Maybe it could be a job for you. So the boys did come, and they wound up starting a sheet mulching business, which they ran for years. And so Kaylin's mom and me and the two boys and their little sisters here with the shovels and tools, we all sheet mulched. We sheet mulched mini lawns together. And the reason I'm starting the story this way is um, it's not hard. There aren't too many places to make mistakes. It's fun. It's a simple job, simple enough for 13-year-olds to be able to do it and do a good job. Our son got bigger. Here he's just a strapping, nearly man working with a couple of his friends, Kaylin still, and somebody else, a yard in Berkeley that they sheet mulched. And then they got bigger still sheet mulching. And then he joined the mountain biking team at El Cerrito High School. And the team needed to raise money and the kids needed to earn money. So we began holding sheet mulching fundraisers, and we would split the income between the kids who worked it and the team, which I wanted to point out because if people are looking to raise money for a nonprofit or have kids who needs jobs, sheet mulching is a great way to go. And I would be, well, I hope this demonstration tells you about it, but I also would be happy to talk with you about it if that's the kind of thing that you want to do for some organization that needs financial help or your kids who need jobs. So Kelly and I, meanwhile, continued holding workshops. We held workshops together for years, Kelly Marshall sheet mulching workshops. So here's how it begins. Maybe you have a lawn and it looks like this, but at the end of one day, and here you can see they've flagged their sprinkler heads. Those yellow flags are marking where the sprinkler heads are so that they can be capped off because you won't need nearly as much water when you have a nice native plant garden. And this is the middle section. So they've gotten a big pile of wood chips dropped on their driveway. And this is how it looks at the end of, well, in this case, it was a workshop. So at the end of our day's workshop. And this yard will sit for anywhere from 3 months to 6 months before it gets planted. Some people say that you can plant right through the wood chips and cardboard, and indeed you can, but I don't think it's a good idea. It's better to wait until the lawn has died and plant then. So some of the basics. When should I sheet mulch? Kelly Marshall and I always said any day is a good time to sheet mulch. You can't go wrong. Sheet mulch in the summer, sheet mulch in the fall, sheet mulch whenever you feel like sheet mulching. That's a good time to sheet mulch. So you might think, well, why should I sheet mulch instead of having someone scrape my lawn away or cover it with plastic? Well, sheet mulching, which means covering your lawn with cardboard and wood chips, it's easy, it's fun, it's inexpensive, it's good exercise, it's satisfying, it improves the soil. If you scrape your lawn away, your lawn is going to go to the landfill, which they're filling up, and we don't need to be putting our lawns there. If you scrape your lawn away, you're also scraping away the top couple of inches of topsoil, which if you have any good topsoil, it's there and you shouldn't be throwing it away. Solarizing it kills all the microbes in your soil, and we don't want dead soil. We want a good, healthy, living soil for our plants. So those are the reasons that I recommend sheet mulching. If you sheet mulch, you can also get money from your water district, anywhere between 50 cents a square foot to $1 a square foot for removing your lawn. Unfortunately, the water districts will not pay you for removing your non-native ornamental shrubs, but if you heard Dr. Talamy's talk, you know they should go anyway, so just take them on out, put something else in that's better. Something to remember if you're going to get funding from your water district is you need to apply and you need to get approval from the water district before you start your project. If you start your project without getting approval, you could wind up they could withdraw their funding. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you submit your application and get their approval before you begin. So what will you need? Well, some basic garden stuff: wheelbarrows, shovels, rakes, some boards. I'll show you a picture of what we're talking about in a minute. Landscape flags to mark your sprinkler heads, a pickaxe maybe, that one's optional, brooms and box cutters. You need wood chips and you need cardboard. And I'll go through all these things as I work through this presentation. So it's good to borrow wheelbarrows from your friends and neighbors so that you are not wheelbarrow limited. That's kind of the worst thing that can happen when you're moving a lot of wood chips. It's good to invite your friends to give you a hand with this job. It does take time to shovel all these wood chips and roll out the cardboard, but you can also take the slow approach and do it yourself over a period of time. So wood chips, um, in order to know what quantity of wood chips you need, you start by calculating the area that you want to sheet mulch. So it's the length times the width. That equals the area in square feet. So let's say that your front lawn is 30 feet wide by 20 feet deep. We multiply those together, and let's say your front lawn is 600 square feet. To find out the number of yards of chips that you need, you go to Google and enter mulch calculator. And the first thing that pops up is an ad, but the second thing is this great website, and I'm going to show you a picture of it in a minute. You'll enter your area in square feet. In our case, it's 600. And you want 3 inches of wood chips. Dale already said that. It's what you want to keep the weeds down. And that will give you the number of cubic yards of wood chips you need. So I just happen to know that it's going to be about 6 yards, but let's look. This is the mulch calculator. So I just went to Google. I've been using this website for years. I type in mulch calculator and I get this website. It says, what is your area in square feet you want to cover? Maybe it's 1,000 or whatever. I put in 600. And it says, well, what is the depth in inches of wood chips that you want? 1, 2, 3, 6. I put in 3. And then it will tell me, all right, I need 5.5 cubic yards of mulch. So I'm rounding up. I'm going to say I need 6 yards. Okay, so now I know I need 6 cubic yards of wood chips. I have a couple of choices. I can get them free or I can buy them. I can get them free from a licensed arborist. If you get them from a licensed arborist, you will get nice, clean wood chips. They won't be from diseased trees and you won't have junk in it. I can get them free from Chip Drop. That's where Stephanie got her wood chips to do her yard in San Leandro. So Chip Drop is an organization, you can Google it, that connects arborists who need to get rid of their wood chips with gardeners who would like wood chips. And you can pay them something if you like, or you can say, I don't want to pay anything, and it will sort of match you up with an arborist who works through Chip Drop. Or you can buy your wood chips and they'll cost you, I don't know, roughly $30 a yard plus delivery. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. So the advantages of getting your wood chips free from an arborist is, well, they're free. The disadvantages are you get the wood chips that the arborist brings you when she or he wants to bring them, and in the quantity that she or he has to deliver. So in this case, I would really like about 6 yards, but the arborist may only drop if they have their 10-yard truck full. So that means I'm going to be getting more wood chips than I need, which is a great thing. You can put them in other parts of your yard. You can post them on Nextdoor. You can offer them to your neighbors. You always want to get more than you'll need so that you know that you have enough to do your job. So if you can tolerate those things, then it's great to get wood chips free. I've gotten them free for many, many years. You can also purchase them. It's roughly, my cost may be a little out of date, but it's roughly $30 a yard plus the delivery fee. So the advantages of buying your wood chips, you can choose the color. Dale had black wood chips. The person in the photo that you saw had brown wood chips. You can purchase the size. Do you want them to be little or big? You can get exactly the amount that you want delivered when you want them. The disadvantage is our 6-yard load would cost maybe $250 or so. Okay, I could talk about cardboard all day long, but I'm going to try to contain myself. So there are 3 types of cardboard, really. The first type is boxes, Amazon boxes, bike shop boxes, any kind of boxes. Um, the second kind of, and I'll show you pictures of these as we move through it. I'm going to talk about it for a moment and then we'll go and look at some pictures. So regular old boxes. You can also get cardboard from Costco, and I'll show you how you can scrounge it from Costco. That's what we usually did. Or you can purchase cardboard from Monahan Paper in Oakland. And no, I do not have this talk typed up, so you can just write it down now before I move from this slide, or you can come back to it later in this recorded presentation. If you buy it from Monahan Paper in Oakland, you would want to purchase a 48-inch tall roll, so 4 foot tall. It contains 1,000 square feet of cardboard. The cost is about $55, and the weight of this roll is about 50 pounds. They sell rolls that are shorter and rolls that are taller and heavier, but this is a nice sized roll. It's manageable by 2 people. You can easily calculate how much cardboard you need because you know it's 1,000 square feet in this roll. And Monahan delivers. Okay, so as Dan said, if you want to sheet mulch your own yard, you'll need way more cardboard than you ever thought you would. You'll need way more cardboard than you ever thought was possible. Dan said, however much you think you need, double that. That's how much you need. It's because you have to overlap the pieces of cardboard that it takes so much more. It takes about 3 times the area of cardboard than the area you want to cover. So for example, if I wanted to cover 600 square feet, I would purchase from Monahan, if I was going to buy it, 1,800 square feet of cardboard. All right, so the cardboard boxes, as we talked about before, they are free. The disadvantage is it's a lot of work to remove staples and tape and like cut apart those cardboard boxes if you're going to lay them flat. The advantage of those thick cardboard boxes is it's best to use them for crabgrass lawns. If you have a nasty grass like Bermuda grass or crabgrass, you really want thick cardboard to really, those grasses that are pernicious and hard to kill, you want sturdy cardboard. The Costco cardboard, I'll show you a picture in a minute. It has no tape or staples. It is even in size. It's thinner than your standard cardboard box. It's nice. You can tell I like it. Then there's the Monahan cardboard. It is the thinnest, so you do not want to use Monahan on a Bermuda grass lawn or a crabgrass lawn. The advantages of Monahan cardboard, they roll out quickly and easily. You can calculate the quantity of cardboard that you're getting, so you'll know that you have enough to cover your lawn, and Monahan delivers. It is not good for crabgrass lawns. So here are the boys, the mountain biking team boys, working in a garden in Richmond. And this person collected a lot of cardboard boxes. You can see we're overlapping them. We're laying them several layers thick. And in this case, because they were just crushed down, they weren't really cut apart. We're also watering them so that they have a little bit of malleability and they can go over this, plunge down over this wall and go down over this lower part of the garden. Here we are collecting cardboard from Costco. So at Costco, every layer of product is, or pallet of product is separated from the previous layer by these nice clean sheets of cardboard. You can see them going down the aisle there. And often every layer of product is separated. So when we would go through Costco, we would just, if there were 2 cans of beans on a piece of cardboard, we would just lift it up. You can see the cardboard. There are people at Costco who go around all day long and they're picking up these pieces of cardboard that are in my way now if I'm a shopper, and they slip them between the racks here. So you can just also look between the racks and find sheets of cardboard. And then you get one of their nice big carts and you can walk out with a cardboard, mass of cardboard like this. They don't care. They just have to recycle it. And it's great for putting on your lawn. So here we are. This is the mountain biking team again. working hard, and they are sheet mulching here a lawn in Kensington. And using this sort of flexible cardboard, you can see by the way this one piece is going down that it's got some bend to it. You can also see that the sprinkler heads are flagged here with tiny little white flags. Okay, and here we are in a workshop rolling out the Monahan cardboard. So you take it to the place where you want to start and you just give it a shove and roll it down the lawn. The cardboard needs to be in at least 2 layers. If you have pernicious grass like crabgrass or Bermuda grass, you'd put on more layers um, of the heavy cardboard. Like for crabgrass, we would put on 4 layers. I've heard of hosts who put on 6 layers of boxes. But this case, the person must have a reasonable lawn to kill, and we're just putting on 2 layers. And you can see this flag here is marking the sprinkler head, and the cardboard is overlapping, but it's not overlapping very much. We would overlap it normally 6 to 8 inches so you don't have weeds coming up between the pieces of cardboard. So getting started, you would first flag your sprinkler heads so you can find them later, so that you can cap them off because you won't need nearly as much water when you put in your native plant garden. And now we'll talk about trenching. So I'll show you some pictures in a minute, but I'll just tell you that we're going to trench where lawn meets the concrete. And you can use a shovel or a pickaxe to make about a 3-inch by 3-inch trench along those edges. So here's the sprinkler head flagged. Also, so we don't like whack it off with a shovel, it's flagged. You can drag a pickaxe along this edge or you can dig it. So why do you want to do this? You want to do this because if you don't cut that lawn back, it's really hard to get a nice clean finish to the job. It's also easy for grass to just grow up at this interface between the lawn and the concrete. So here we are in a workshop, and these people have shovels and they're just digging up the edge of the lawn. And normally we're going to throw the dirt back onto the lawn. It can just stay there and go under the concrete. But in this case, they wanted to pile it up and use it in mounds, which is what Dan and Jen did in their garden in Alameda this morning. So you can see this man, he's rolling out the cardboard roll, and these people are trenching, and they're going to collect this trenched dirt in a pile to make some planting mounds. Here's the mountain biking team, and these boys are using pickaxes. This is kind of hard. It should have good idea to water it if you're doing it when the dirt is really hard. Water it first to soften it up, and then if you're lucky, you can just plunge your pickaxe in there and drag it along the length of that concrete walkway and just chop that edge out. And this is what you wind up at the end of trenching, with a nice clean interface between your concrete and where the lawn was, and you just throw those piles of dirt onto the lawn and cover them up. It'll all work out in the end. But you'll find when you've done your trenching, you've probably isolated yourself from your wood chip pile, and you need a safe way to get across without busting an ankle. So we have these things we called bridges. My husband put these little carry handles on it for us so we can easily move them. And we just lay wood pieces between the concrete and the lawn so we can run our wheelbarrows across them and walk across them without turning an ankle. So here the boys are rolling out Monahan paper, and you can see the overlap. It's going to go over like 6 to 8 inches from the prior roll that they put out. The sprinkler heads are flagged. Here's not enough overlap here, I can see, but they're probably going to pick that roll up and just move it. And you can see this person has a really long front yard, so getting the Monahan makes it nice and easy to get that cardboard laid down fast. These people, this is a lot in Pleasant Hill, and the owners had collected boxes, and you see they kind of cut them open. You don't have to cut them open, but you can make your cardboard stretch farther. And you need to overlap the cardboard. And here they're just overlapping cardboard pieces. And there, that overlapping is just about done, and they're just laying down the last few sheets to make sure that we haven't got any gaps where the grass could pop up. Now, people often ask, or they're concerned like, well, how do I get rid of that cardboard? How do I get it to decompose? What should I do? Should I water it? But the cardboard is your friend. It's the cardboard that's keeping the weeds down. Um, Bob Finkel, whose garden you'll see later on today, said that he spot sheet mulches in his garden today. If he has a certain area that he's got oxalis coming up, he just puts down some cardboard and puts wood chips on top of it. I do the same thing in my yard. So um, cardboard is your friend, and you should not be in a great hurry to get it to disappear. It will eventually, but hopefully by then your plants will have grown in, and they will provide you with some weed protection. This is the Costco cardboard. This is my friend Kelly Marshall, who will be on the Q&A panel with soon. She's carrying the 2 sheets of cardboard here. This is Costco cardboard, and I really just showed this photo because it's not very often that you get to frame a sheet mulching photo between these beautiful blossoms, and I just couldn't resist putting this picture in. All right, so here we are at the trench, and they're rolling this cardboard down, and this person has a box cutter, and they're gonna cut it off. It should be like a few inches above the sidewalk so that you don't run short. You have this little excess that's poking up. And here, this woman is helping to shove cardboard down into the trench, and now you can really see it poking up a few inches. They'll clean up the edges later, but you want too much rather than too little. You can always cut it off if you have too much, but it's not as good if you have not enough cardboard. If you have a tree, you want to stay back from the crown of the tree. You can see the sprinkler heads are flagged here, and they just kept away from where the roots are showing above the ground. If you have stones to lay, you can put your cardboard down first and put your stones on top, and that gives you a nice clean interface where the weeds cannot come up. These people here with the rakes, they're smoothing out the piles of wood chips. So we'll look at the piles in a second, but you can see them raking the wood chips evenly over the cardboard. So then you do a lot of this. It's just a lot of shoveling. This is when it's good to be on good terms with your neighbors or invite your family or friends over to lend a hand with this job, which is not hard. Wood chips are fun to shovel. They're light and you feel like you're doing something dramatic, but they're really easy to wheelbarrow around. A lot of shoveling. I just want to go back for a second. See how this man has tipped his wheelbarrow sideways? This is also an easy way to, if you tip your wheelbarrow sideways, you can just take a rake and drag the wood chips into the bin, and you don't have to actually shovel so much of them. But here they're shoveling. And here we're weighting down the cardboard. So the cardboard can lift, whether it's sheets or monohan. So as you're laying down the cardboard, really, you also want to be dropping wood chips and having them weight the cardboard down. And this lady was game. She was in her 80s and she was out there raking away. And these people are smoothing out the wood chips. We often turn our rakes upside down so it doesn't move the cardboard around or tear into the cardboard. And here, this young man from the mountain biking team, we have our cardboard lip that's sticking up high over the edge of the trench, and he's gonna cut it down nice and tidy and short so that it looks good at the end of the day. And then you celebrate, whether you are a group little or small or big. And I would be remiss if I did not show you a few sheet mulching photos. So this is a garden in Livermore, had a large lawn. And I believe this is the Heather Day garden. You can find it on the website. They had a water chart showing their water use when they had lawn and when they had their native plant garden. And its water use is dramatically decreased. Large lawn, we did this in a sheet mulching workshop. They put in this retaining wall later. And this is a garden in Oakland. And those of you who were with us last week might recognize Al Kite's garden, which was a large lawn in Moraga. And this garden now gets only hand watered for new plants that need it. So that is, I think, the end of my time. And if you have sheet mulching questions, we'll try to pick them up in the Q&A that will take place at 11:50.